Kia ora. After all the activity yesterday, the good news as we head in towards the long weekend, some more settled weather back across, particularly the North Island. We have got some windier and wetter weather on the South Island as we head in towards Saturday, but also warmer. However, before we get there, let's take a look at the rest of this afternoon for Thursday. Some rain just clearing away from those far southern parts, and then as high pressure builds across most of the country, we'll find some clearer skies and some lighter winds as we head through the night time. Now, overnight tonight, for many of us, it stays dry and pretty clear as well. You can see on the charts there's more cloud on the western side of both islands, and that's really the theme as we head on in towards Friday as well. But compared to some of those cold temperatures we've been seeing over the last couple of nights, temperatures will be a little bit milder. Not drastically so, still 2 degrees in Christchurch as we head in towards the early hours of Friday morning, but compared to those cold frosty mornings we've been seeing, it's definitely a little bit better. You can see on the North Island still down to around about 4 or 5 degrees Celsius around that central plateau, but for places like Wellington, 9 degrees Celsius, and Auckland, 13. As we head into Friday, for most of us it's a dry, fine looking day, plenty of clear sky and sunshine. There's more cloud on those western facing coasts, and you can see we have got some wet weather feeding in towards Fiordland with some strengthening winds as well. Those bigger arrows showing those winds a fair bit stronger. It's something to watch out for down across those southern parts of the country as we head towards the end of the day on Friday. But for most of us it is a dry story. More cloud perhaps across the South Island later on in the day, but still plenty of dry weather. For the North Island, it's really a bit of an east-west split, and for most of us, a dry story. You can see there's more cloud on those western-facing coasts, particularly towards the central plateau first thing as well. Enough about the ranges, might catch a bit of drizzle, but really have to go quite high for those. Most of us, a dry story, with plenty of sunshine from Wellington all the way up and round towards those far eastern parts of Northland as well. A much more settled day in Auckland as well, be pleased to know. A bit of patchy cloud, but generally a dry, fine-looking day. In terms of our temperatures, highs back to 18, 19 degrees Celsius, really not too bad for the final day of May. Overnight temperatures as well, pretty impressive, especially down towards places like Wellington and Palmerston North. 11, 12 degrees Celsius our minimum temperature as we head in towards that first part of Saturday morning. But generally, it's looking like a fairly mild looking day. For the South Island, still a combination of that east-west split. The Southern Alps acting as a great barrier to a lot of that cloud pushing in from the Tasman Sea. We'll find some wet weather, some rain feeding towards Fiordland and some showers making their way up in towards Westland, mostly up about the ranges, but I think we are going to keep hold of more cloud and perhaps an odd isolated shower towards places like Greymouth and Hokitika. While on this eastern coast it stays dry, but some higher cloud arriving as we head through the afternoon. But we will start to find the winds increasing, especially down through Fiordland and in towards parts of Southland. Those northwesterly winds really ramping things up, but they will be bringing some milder air with them. And that's really reflected in our temperatures. Highs in Christchurch, 17 degrees Celsius, 19 down towards Timaru, even Invercargill and Dunedin, 18 degrees Celsius, your top temperature through the daytime on Friday. And our overnight temperatures, really very mild compared to what we've been seeing over the last few days and weeks, and a really mild start to the first day of June. As we head through the next few days, we are going to find that wetter weather moving northwards. Some heavier falls of rain in towards Fiordland and up in towards the ranges of the South Island, spilling across, being driven by those strong northwesterlies in towards the headwaters of the Canterbury and Otago lakes and rivers. And we are going to find that wet weather reaching up towards the middle parts of the country by the time we head towards the night time on Friday. Ahead of that, strong, strengthening northwesterly winds. So we have got some severe weather watches to watch out for. But for the North Island on Saturday, most of the day, it's a fine, dry one, just waiting for that wet weather arriving right at the end of the day. There are some severe weather watches across the South Island. For rainfall, we're looking at that rain pushing in towards Fiordland from the very early hours of Saturday, and a similar story up in towards the ranges of Westland. For the stronger winds, really starting to pick up through Fiordland and Southland from as early as 10 p.m. on Friday. And you can see we've also got that watch up through parts of, say, the Queenstown Lakes and up in towards those southern parts of Canterbury, especially those inland areas where we could find those winds perhaps reaching severe gale force at times as we head mainly through Saturday. As we go through towards Sunday, you can see this front has weakened away a fair bit and moved up towards the north side. Might find a few showers around first thing places like Auckland on Sunday morning. But generally, another area of high pressure builds across the country, and for most of us, we're looking at a fairly dry looking at Sunday as well. Not bad conditions for that second half of the long weekend. Still more cloud on those western facing coasts, but generally a dry story once that front clears through. And on in towards Monday, well, high pressure keeps most of us fairly dry and settled. Still areas of cloud to watch out for, some decent spells of sunshine through Canterbury and up on towards the North Island through the afternoon. Temperatures not as high as we'll see on Saturday, but generally a pretty decent looking at King's birthday for many of us. However, out towards the Chatham Islands, do keep an eye on those wind speeds. Things are going to be pretty blustery for you, a bit of a windy story as we go out towards there. But for most of us on the mainland, things are looking pretty settled as we head towards King's birthday weekend. That's it from me. There's more at metservice.com.